Alright, so what I'm actually looking here is Nasdaq in 1 minute, right? You can probably see that we actually had this big impulsive candle before the actual any news, before the news here. You can probably see that this thing was just like persistent in going lower, right? Then we crashed this low, then we went all the way high, then I took a trade here. I'm gonna post that on shorts. Then we went higher again, crashing this buy side liquidity up there. Then we went down, then came back to this fair value gap. Then I immediately understood that this is just a fair value gap there, where it's just hidden there inside because we just crashed this buy side liquidity. Then we swapped it, then we moved a bit higher, then we started correcting towards this, right? Okay, let me just switch this off so that like I understand. So we immediately really balanced everything here. Then the price exactly came into this. Then I exited because I've added another position here. Then I exited around there. Yeah, right. Then I took another trade here after I just exited. So right now what I'm looking for is that I want to see the price going lower to this, right? I'm not sure there are not any news today. There are not any valid news, but I am just looking at it to understand if like we can go lower or it can just stop me out, or it can just react back to this and just stop me out. But what I want to see here, I want to see an obvious I want to see an obvious fair value gap here forming before I can actually anticipate anything going there, right? So how did I take this trade? It was pretty easy taking this trade, right? Because I used the this, right, if you can see it properly. Okay, so the network is actually against me right now. Okay, let me try and connect to my phone because I don't understand. So I actually use this. I'm not sure if you guys can still see the whole thing, right? Alright, but I connected to this and then I used this a chart, right, to actually understand where the market is actually going, right? What's going on here? But if I say I chart is supposed to give me something that I actually expect. So this is how I actually filtered this sell, right? Because I'm only seeing sell in my mind. I'm only seeing sell. So that's the thing, right? And I cannot participate on buy. So this is a trick actually for anyone who actually trying to trade the trade the sell or the buy models, right, a lot, because I see a lot of setup which are selling, not buying. So obviously that's what's gonna happen, right? So the price went higher, then took the trade here, then went back to this high right here. So I'm gonna say it's a high because even though it's upside, but it's still a high. So went back to this high, then um closed the profit, closed the trade here. Then I took another one when it came back to this, then closed it here when I understood that we have this here. So that's how I actually took this trade going lower, right? Then I flipped the chart from that point. I'll flip it one more time. So I flipped the chart again. Okay. Okay, yes, you can probably see that the chart is flipped now. So I wouldn't have been able to see this because I was gonna wait for this, because when the market is already running high, right, I expect the price to actually reach for the lowest fair value gaps, neglecting that also these fair value gaps work. So I'm not gonna close it on. If it take me out, then it's gonna take me out, but it doesn't matter. I'm just watching to see if these relative equal lows can be crashed. Yes, they were crashed here if you can look at it, but then I want to see them getting crashed in real time. So obviously I'm gonna wait for it. um Maybe I want to see 60% or 80% rebalancing this whole price right there. I think maybe I should start recording this. I wanted to see Alright, so you guys can see that we actually inside here, and we rebalanced the price, came back to 50% retracement. I was actually waiting for to see if at least we can get to here or here, this upper quadrants, right? But then I'm still waiting because anything can happen from this point going forward, right? Uh, this is not an entry. This is never gonna be an entry, right? We can maybe find an entry up here, but these days anything can happen in this market. So obviously you could see the next run going higher, right? It's very possible. This market are very unpredictable these days. So obviously you're not gonna be. It's it's a bit harder for you to actually trade them because they're more and more. They're becoming more and more unpredictable. So obviously you're gonna see a lot of things happening which you did not actually expect, right? But I'm just gonna keep it as clean as possible because. But I really loved how we came from that and went all the way down, averaging to averaging to how much? 788, right? I really love that. But also I wanna make it to 1,000 here. So obviously I'm gonna wait up until like I get to a point where I'm actually comfortable with closing the trade, right? But for now I'm just looking at it and I'm just in sync with it. In sync with the candlestick. I'm just kidding. So okay, so this is how I look at it. What am I leaving here? Okay, so I'm gonna keep these levels annotated. This is the low that we have. I'm gonna keep it red like that because this just became a market structure shift to actually see, because this just became a market structure shift to FAIS Act. We can go lower than, right? So I'm just gonna leave it like this. Then I'm just gonna watch it do its own thing, and I'm not gonna engage because I've already engaged there at the top. But I'm not the type of person who likes to place multiple trades at the same time. Right? I don't like to do that. I'm not the type of person, so obviously you're not gonna see that. If you see that, just know that I was gambling and I had no money on that trade. And also, I'm not saying I have money on this trade. Also, hey, hey, this is, as you can see the description there, you can probably see what I'm talking about. So I don't have like I don't have like a proper license to actually give you any trading advice or any financial advice. So how I think the market is gonna, this is not to edge you into trading this thing or wanting to, this is